From conferences to webinars and workshops, we have had plenty of chances to learn throughout this year. But how do we know which ones truly meet our needs and help us keep learning after the session ends? Let's talk about that. Make sure that you like, follow, and subscribe to this channel so you can get the notifications about emerging tech, digital learning, influency, and so much more. Your support means a great deal to me, and it helps me keep producing all of this great content. We're talking about looking at conferences and webinars and attending them and sessions, and there's so much. But how do we make sure that this really fits our needs? Well, this all came from a LinkedIn post, and I told Ian from Cleverlike Studios that I actually was going to do a video on something like this. This is what this post was. Really excited to see that Brian and Ian and the Cleverlike team are doing a session that involves some summer workshops with learning Unreal and some other great tools. So I got really amped and I tried to figure out, okay, what's going to work best for me and what I want to do. That really inspired this session today where I'm calling it Which Webinar Fits My Vibe. Now, before we even get into it, this is walking you through how to see what sessions that you really want to get into, what's going to be a part of your bandwidth, and how you can use AI to help really narrow down how to look for sessions that are going to be fit just for you. And we are going to use a Cleverlike Studio session to talk about that. So I just want to give a quick little overview of their site. This is their Learn It and Earn It free summer workshop. Big shout out to them. And so we're going to walk through a little bit of this. I will put that into the show notes. But I want to talk about, again, making sure how we really going to follow through with going on sessions and attending webinars and all those things that we may be interested in. It's not necessarily about, do I really like this or don't like this? The bigger picture for me, and maybe it's for some of you out there, is do I have time to even participate in the sessions? I may or may not like it, but do I even have time to go? Do I have the tools that will meet the needs for me to even learn and do these things? And real talk, do I even have the energy to keep going with this after it ends? That's the big issue here for me when it comes to session, because your boy is really busy. Like all of you, I'm sure you are really busy and you're really excited to take on something new and learn new skills. But that bandwidth is real. No matter if you have a long break in between or if you're really busy, it's about having the time, accessing to the tools, and the energy. And so that's definitely what I want to get into, because I want to talk about checking the fit. The session that you found is great, or the conference that you found is great. You're really excited about it, but does it really meet your needs right now? And there's no shame in the game. Like, you know what? I'm not sure this is going to work, or this is going to work. But what we want to look at is I have 4 different pillars here that will help you decide how this is going to be fit for you. So one of the things that we look at when you see that webinars or conferences or workshops are coming up that are optional to go to, so some of them are required, but you want to look at the schedule. Can I actually attend these things live and be focused? That's one of the things where if you're really excited about a session, can I make sure that I can go live and be focused? Now, we all love those webinars and sessions where it's recorded, but how many times are you really going to go back and really look at those recordings? You may go back, but what about the ones that you really are engaged in? So that's something that you need to think about. The scheduling. Can I attend live, and does it have my focus? Access is another one. We're not just talking about tech here. We're just talking about whatever materials that we have access to. Do I have access to the necessary tools at home or within my organization? Is it easy for me to get to? If it is a hurdle, that may be a small barrier. It's not necessarily meaning that we're not going to do it, but is it easy for you to get to learn quick as possible? And then we have skill and energy. Do I have the bandwidth? I have been using this word for the past week or two. Do I have the bandwidth to really learn this right now? That goes back to the schedule where you're looking at being live and focused. Do I really have the bandwidth to look at this right now? Can I fit it into what I really want to do and grow my skill set? That's important to really look at. And the follow through. This is something that is really big for me right now. I love going to sessions, but now I find myself really narrowing down, going, okay, after attend the session, what can I do next with that? Not necessarily meaning what can I do tomorrow or next week, but how can I continue on that learning to make sure that I have more time and energy to really focus on it and to really grow from that session with all the great materials and ideas that are coming from it. When it comes to webinars, conferences, sessions, all those things, I've now decided I'm going to give some of those ideas to my AI. Doesn't matter what AI you're using, and you're not going to give all of your information. You're going to give information that is pretty much public for anybody to access. So you really want to protect that personal information, but you want to give some information to kind of help you move and generate some ideas so that you can really have this what I call conversation back and forth with the AI, but not a real conversation. So some ideas that we're gonna give are maybe I want to put my resume in there. Maybe I want to talk about my schedule limits for when I'm attending a webinar. Maybe I want to put in some screenshots from the website or putting up a PDF from the conference or session, just so that the AI can really get the idea of what you really want to do. I'm going to model that for you using number one, the Cleverlike website, because I'm actually really interested in attending this, but also I am going to be putting in some of my information. So this is what I'm calling let's check my fit. So we're going to go to the site, or maybe you're going to go to your PDF or whatever material you have to look at what is going to work for you. One of the things that obviously catch my eye is free. We know no matter if you're an educator, no matter if what sector you're in, free is always going to be good. So that's already intriguing already. 90 minutes for the workshop. We already know that. Okay, we got to make sure that we're spending 90 minutes of our individual time to learn what the company has to offer. They know that there's going to be support at it, and then we get a certificate that we can share out on LinkedIn, YouTube, wherever you want to share it out at. Then these are the sessions that are being offered here. So I'm not going to go through all of them, but as you can see here, as I'm personally going through them right now, we see that, okay, there's Unreal Engine. We see the grade levels. We see what time the sessions are being offered, when they're starting, and then where you can register. That's me going through it in a glance. So I'm going through here a little bit more, scrolling down here. This is something that's big. System requirements. This goes back to that access that we were talking about. This is about using tech, but this could be about anything, no matter what session that you're going into. So now you're looking at, okay, there are four main pillars are Minecraft all the way to Unreal Engine. So when I click through each one, they're gonna tell me what I need to have already prepared and at the ready. So that's gonna be something that's gonna be triggering for me to go, okay, which ones am I gonna be looking at to help me get ready for this session? So it's very important that we look at that. Let's go back. We've already checked our fit and we've gone through this rather quickly. Usually we'll take a little bit more time to do this, but let's go back to those four pillars: the schedule, the access, the skill and energy, and the follow through. So what we've done here, we now see the dates that are going to work for me. I've already mentally seen that, okay, I know what dates I can attend these sessions. The access, by having that website already say these are the things that you're going to need to use, I now know what I have at home or what I can get access to rather quickly without any fuss. That's the big key. If I'm attending, I want to make sure I lower the barrier as much as possible. Looking at the session, I know where, okay, realistically, what am I able to handle? We've talked about bandwidth. What is my bandwidth when I attend that sessions? What am I getting prepared to, no matter if I'm beginner, intermediate, or advanced? That's going to help me really focus and go through that lesson. Follow through. When I'm looking at those sessions, I have a good inkling of, okay, which ones do I really want to focus on? Because when that session ends, I want to be able to still follow through with what I want to do. Now that we've gone through that, I kind of have an idea of what my schedule is, and I now need to make that fit. So now I need to make that match. So I already know, like I said, what is going to fit my calendar. I definitely am going to give AI some context to share, and I'm going to match that vibe. I don't care what AI you use. I like to use ChatGPT. The things that I'm going to put in there are going to be things that are pretty accessible to the public, that aren't private. So for me, one of the things that I like to do when I'm talking about this is uploading my resume and portfolio. I am going to go to my portfolio site, shameless plug here, and I am going to go to my CV and resume section. And what I'm going to do is look at that handsome guy right there. I am going to scroll down because I already have this built, but you may have this in your drive somewhere, no matter what. And I am going to download my professional portfolio and my CV. So I can already have those at the ready. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, so we've already uploaded some things into our AI. Again, I'm using ChatGPT. So what I've already done is I have uploaded my resume and my CV from my site to give a little background. But what I've also done here is I have uploaded some screenshots from the Cleverlike Studios website. So all I did was I didn't go in and click on each one. I kind of just did a wide screenshot of all the sessions that were available to me. Something that was real quick, real simple. And that's something that you may want to do. So once I have all that set in there, what I'm going to do now is I am going to put in the prompt that I created to help me determine what I'm looking for. So notice I put it here. I may want to make sure that what my best options are to attend the webinar, what I can and cannot do. And I asked it to really, before they do anything, to really push on me to ask me, what do I have? Why do I want to go there? Things like that. So I'm going to generate this right now. Okay, so through the magic of editing, we have the prompts here, but look what it's already done for me. It says before we start eliminating sessions, I'm just summarizing this up. It's going to ask me just a few questions here. I see about 5 questions here that it's asking me to answer first before it can determine what's going to work best for you. So what I'm going to do here now is I am going to go through here and I'm actually going to answer these questions. I'm just going to literally just turn on my dictate mode, the microphone, and just talk through it. A lot of your AIs already have this, so you don't have to think about putting or copying and pasting into another document to type and answer these questions. Just dictate and talk you through and see what it comes up with. So that's what I'm going to work on now with each of these questions. All right, so it's giving me a response, and as you can see, it's responding to what I've talked through. So it's telling me the order because I gave a certain order that I would want to do. So say, okay, UEFN is my first game. It's Friday 24th at 10 a.m. This would be the strongest overall fit. I kind of saw that coming. It's telling me why here, because of the axis of work that I have, and then it's talking about how it fits my goals and so on and so forth. I will also put this into the show notes so you can see the responses and what it also gave me. I think this is very interesting here. So then the second, it does tell me Unreal Engine, careers in animation. They say this is definitely the second best one for me, and it gives me why. And then the last one is the Rube Goldberg. It's telling me, yeah, this is going to be the easiest schedule. It fits the final three. But look what it says here. It is the weakest for my professional fit. That doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just that for what my goal is, it might not be what I need to be learning right now for the long term end game. And then it gave me the options of removed here. It gave me my best balance and why. Um, it gives you something to practice and build, and so on and so forth. So it gave me that final recommendation. So again, I'm going to make sure that I post my actual outcome into the notes so you can see that, as well as the prompt so that you can make your edits to see how you would like to do this as well. All right, let's debrief for a second before we move on to the next thing. We let AI support us in what sessions that we want to choose, but we don't want to make AI that final say. We gave us some context and we got to, challenge each other back and forth with what we needed. So, what did we do here? We did four things. We gave it context, options, it helped us create a match, and then now we have to determine what that next step is going to be. So, in that context, we shared professional info that we felt that was comfortable giving. Remember, I said at the very beginning, something that even Google can look up and help you support with. Then it gave us some options based on our prompt and based off of some of those barriers that we were looking for. So we shared the choices for consideration. Then it helped us make that match. So it helped really connect those dots to determine what sessions would be best for us. And then now what our next step is based off of your top five for whatever, narrowing down what is actually going to work for us. That is going to be definitely that next step. So what we're going to do here now is we are going to narrow down that match. So what we're going to do is we are going to go back to the AI responses here. They're already here. And as you see, I already have some stuff already prepped, ready to go. We're looking at those prompts, we're seeing or the responses, and we're seeing why stuff works, why things don't work here. We're going to go back and review that again, and then identify what those top ones are. And then what we need to do is let's go back to that webinar page, because the reason why we're going back is because what we want to do is based off of those responses, we want to capture what they said works best for us. So I'm just going to pick one, and it was particularly this session, the Rube Goldberg one. And so what I would do in this case is from those top four, I'm going to take just a screenshot of this page just so that I can put that into the AI for more concepts. So we're going to make sure that we're looking at the dates, the times, making sure that that works. So in looking at whatever those prerequisites are. Remember the prerequisites that we saw at the bottom down here from Minecraft to Unreal Engine? We're going to make sure those prerequisites do align with what we are looking for. Okay. And then we're going to bring that back to the chat GPT. And then we're going to put in a prompt that's going to ask us for some more information. So I already have that prompt there. So again, what I'm going to do is I am going to look at those top four or three or five, however many I had there. And I'm going to make sure that I am putting also not just the information that you see here, but also I'm going to put in those hardware recommendations. So I'm going to do that right now real quick. All right, so we're back into our AI, particularly ChatGPT. And again, I put in the screenshots of the session that the AI thought would work best for me, but I also added screenshots of what the particular hardware that may be needed for those particular sessions, just to have that there. So again, we looked at the dates and the times and descriptions that we did to put in those concepts. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit more to that. And I'm adding another prompt here because what I want the AI to communicate with me is I really want to know which options give me the best balance for my interest, my access, and my time. And then I want it to be able to tell me why. So that's what we mean by now we're narrowing the match. We got the top 4 or 5, however many that you asked for, that would fit your schedule and your needs and your why. But now we're asking, okay, let's narrow it down a little bit more based on what's needed, the equipment, and more of my time. So I'm giving a little bit more context and information. So I'm going to put that in the prompt and I'm going to ask it to respond back. All right, so here's the response. We gave it some more context. It said, here's your strongest fit. It's going to be the UEFN Gone Fishing game, your first game. So it's telling me why. And again, I will put this also in the notes as well of what the response it gave me, as well as the other prompt that it asked me. But it's basically telling me, okay, it fits what my 2 main goals are: delivering workshops and professional learning experiences, and it's supporting all the way from esports to a workforce readiness framework. So it's giving me even more about it too. But then look, it's giving me a main weakness here. It says here, okay, 10 a.m. That might be still like a concern. It still is the strongest fit, but you still need to probably watch out for that. Then it's giving me that a backup here. Now, this may or may not give the same thing for you, but because of that prompt and that added context, it's telling me, okay, here's another backup in case you want to go through this. Rube Goldberg is going to be my next one for the next one, and then it's going to give me the third one for Friday the 17th, which is careers in animation. So it's still giving me my top ones. And then it's giving me some things to think about what to check before registering. I got to confirm my hardware, how much space I have, give me clarity for the conflicting requirements. All right, so let's keep this moving. We are going to look at, okay, so we've gotten our information of what we needed from the ad, but now we're going to make that final decision on really what is going to work best for us. So that's what you're going to see here. So, okay, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make a commitment. And I know that's strong, but we've let the tech narrow down our choices. We gave our reasons why, we put in our barriers, we've done all those things. So now let's make that commitment. Now, I'm not going to go through this with you guys on here, but whatever one that we decide to pick from, you would go in and register for that particular session, fill the information out, whatever it is that they're asking for. Obviously, that makes sense. But then what you're going to do next is you're going to make sure that you block that time to register. So once you've registered, they're probably going to send you an email, whatever it is that they're going to do. And you're going to make sure that you have that put into your calendar. So if it's for the 17th, go on ahead and make sure that you're putting that event in for the 17th and make sure that you are marked busy for that particular time. So you are not getting any interruptions. That is the key. So then going back into that, you're going to debrief. Now, the debriefing doesn't mean that, okay, I'm going to contact Cleverlike or whoever it is that you're doing and ask them, hey, can you really walk this through with me? Whatever notes, whatever you learned from that session that day. So if that session was the 16th or whatever, you need to go back into your calendar and pick another day. Maybe it's a Saturday or whatever. This is something that you're going to do on your own and create that date for yourself. Debrief, and I'm not going to do this right now. I'm just showing you guys an example. Debrief, make sure that you mark yourself busy and give yourself maybe an hour or two or whatever, and just go back and go, okay, what is it that I learned from that particular session? So I'm going to discard that because I haven't registered quite yet. But then the next step that you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and you are going to organize, create a folder and make notes in a doc. That's your next step. So this is some things that, you're not letting AI particularly handle. So even going back to the calendar, I'm going to go into my Google. I will probably go into the drive somewhere and then just create a folder or a doc to make sure that I'll just put a Cleverlike here real quick. Okay. Whatever it is that you're gonna put in that put in that folder, put your documents, put your notes in there, so you have some stuff that is at the ready to go. Okay, so then that's what you're gonna do there, and then connect, find other resources. See also if the webinar has some extended resource that they attach to. So, for example, if I'm looking at Unreal Engine, maybe I want to Google some Unreal Engine videos that are easy for me, that are not a heavy lift, and make sure that you add those maybe into your doc, a link or whatever. That's the things that what you would want to do next, so that you're prepped and ready to go. You have 2 times to do this, okay? So the first time you're registering, you're blocking that time. The second time you're debriefing on your own and looking at what is it that you learned from that webinar. So you're taking maybe that extra hour to go, okay, what does this look like? What can I do with it? What have I learned from this? And then you're going to keep it moving. Now, I would also recommend, this is optional, but even putting in maybe an additional day, a day where you can go, okay, I'm going to add a second day so I can also debrief. So find another day on your calendar to where you are going to debrief again and extend that learning for yourself. So that makes it 3. 1, the day that you're registering for it, blocking that time. 2, you're going to debrief by yourself and go through whatever resources that the webinar provided for you or that you found for yourself to go through that. activities, spend an hour, maybe an hour tops. If you want to do more, that's fine, and learn some more. And then three, do another optional day. So that way you've had three times within that time period, with maybe within a month, whatever, however you want to do it, to really go through and learn to figure out how this is going to work for yourself. And so the reason why I wanted to share this with you is this is about slowing down with intention. If we're going to learn some things, it make sure that you're doing it that and make it purposeful. The AI is there to help you push that along, not to make that decision for you. Let's make that clear. It's not there to make the decision for you, but it's to help you. It's to help you push those ideas along. And that's why I have this quote up here that I just kind of built up. The key is slow down. When you slow down and choose with intention, you're not just registering for a webinar, you are setting the foundation for what you want to keep building, learning, and practicing for what's next. So I kind of butchered that, but you get the idea. The key words here are slowing down, being intentional, having a foundation, learning, practicing, and building. That is the whole purpose of when you want to attend these webinars, these conferences, or whatever else that is live. So that way you have your focus. So that is how you make sure that you have this vibe check for yourself for picking out something that meets your needs and you want to sustain it a little bit longer. I hope you got a lot out of learning how to really prioritize what sessions, webinars, workshops, or whatever work best for you. And yeah, this was a lengthy process, but once you start getting into the habit of really practicing and doing this, you'll realize that you are going to be able to look at really upskilling yourself and learning things a lot quicker. And you're going to be really able to support that personal bandwidth that you're looking for. So, I already have my session picked out and I'm really excited to be a part of it. And look for some more videos on me going a little bit deeper or talking about some other things on this. So, again, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon.